The Valorian flagship, Starweaver, hung in the darkness of space, its crystalline hull refracting starlight in mesmerizing patterns. Admiral Thara Voss stood at the observation deck, her iridescent scales shifting colors as she contemplated the blue planet below. Earth, the source of the greatest mystery in modern galactic history. Admiral, First Officer Zen approached, his tentacles rippling with anxiety. We've completed another scan of their communication networks. The results are perplexing. Voss turned, her golden eyes narrowing. Show me. The holographic display materialized between them, showing endless streams of data flowing from Earth. Entertainment broadcasts, internet traffic, satellite communications, all of it completely ignorant of the 17 different alien civilizations that had attempted contact over the past decade. They have the technology, Zen continued. Their quantum computing capabilities exceed even the Arcturian collective. Their energy output suggests antimatter production facilities. They've even established colonies on Mars and Europa. But they simply don't care to acknowledge us, Voss finished. She'd spent 3 years studying humanity, and their behavior defied all logical explanation. The first contact attempts had been made by the Centaurians, using traditional light-based communication methods. Earth's response? They'd adjusted their orbital defense platforms to filter out the signals as space debris interference. When the Proxima Alliance sent their most advanced diplomatic vessels, humanity's orbital defense grid had simply absorbed all scanning attempts and continued their regular activities. What's truly remarkable, Voss mused, is their shield technology. She gestured to another holographic display showing historical footage. A Drachnid battle fleet, frustrated by humanity's silence, had attempted a show of force. Their most powerful weapons, capable of shattering moons, had dissipated harmlessly against Earth's planetary shield. The humans hadn't even bothered to return fire. They simply continued their daily routines, as if one of the most powerful military forces in the galaxy wasn't hammering at their doorstep. Commander Raya's report just came in, Zen added, pulling up a new data stream. She managed to get closer to one of their orbital habitats than anyone before. The shields, they're unlike anything we've ever seen. They don't just block or deflect, they seem to simply deny the existence of any unwanted interaction. Voss had suspected as much. Humanity had somehow developed technology that didn't just protect them. It allowed them to selectively choose what parts of reality they wished to interact with. The implications were staggering. Send in the diplomatic probe, Voss ordered. The Valorians had spent decades developing this specific approach. Instead of grand displays or shows of force, they'd created a small, clearly non-threatening probe that would attempt to interface with human systems using their own protocols. The probe detached from the Starweaver, its organic crystalline structure designed to mimic human satellite technology. As it approached Earth's orbit, Voss held her breath. Previous attempts had all failed, with human systems simply ignoring the foreign signals. The probe reached the outer edge of Earth's defensive network. For a moment, it seemed to make progress, successfully mimicking human communications protocols. Then, suddenly, its signal winked out. Did they destroy it? Voss asked, though she already knew the answer. No, Admiral, Zen replied, his tentacles twisting in confusion. They just patched what they called a security vulnerability in their networks. The probe is still there, but their systems are now treating it as if it doesn't exist, just like they do with us. Voss stared at the Earth, its blue oceans and white clouds betraying nothing of the civilization that had somehow achieved the ultimate form of defense, the ability to simply ignore anything they chose not to acknowledge. Prepare a full report for the Galactic Council, she ordered. Though I suspect they'll be as frustrated with my findings as everyone else has been. Humanity has reached a level of technological advancement where they can simply choose not to participate in galactic society, and there's nothing we can do about it. As the Starweaver prepared to leave Earth's solar system, Voss made one final observation of the planet below. Somewhere down there, billions of humans went about their lives, developing technologies beyond anything the galaxy had seen, exploring their solar system, and solving their own problems, all while completely ignoring the countless civilizations desperately trying to make contact. Perhaps, she mused, that's the greatest power of all, the ability to choose your own path, regardless of what the rest of the universe demands. The shield wall. The Grand Galactic Council chamber on Nexus Prime buzzed with agitation. Representatives from 17 spacefaring civilizations gathered in the crystalline amphitheater, their collective anxiety manifesting in a cacophony of translated arguments and debates. At the center of it all stood High Counselor Jareth Nvari of the Arctarian Collective, his bioluminescent markings pulsing with barely contained frustration. The data from Admiral Voss's mission only confirms what we already knew, he announced, silencing the chamber. Humanity's technological advancement isn't just unprecedented, it's impossible by every metric we understand. Holographic displays materialized around the chamber, showing footage from the latest failed attempts at contact. The Drachnid Empire's most recent demonstration of power played out in silence. A fleet of 1,000 ships unleashing enough firepower to crack a planet, only to have their weapons disappear into nothing, as if they'd never existed. What troubles me most, interrupted Counselor Lyra Thal of the Centaurian Dominion, her crystalline form refracting light in agitated patterns, is their internal conflicts. We've observed them engaging in warfare among themselves, using conventional weapons when they clearly possess technology that could end such conflicts instantly. The chamber erupted in murmurs. It was true. Humanity's greatest paradox was their seeming reluctance to use their most advanced technology even among themselves. Their orbital defense systems and planetary shields were ubiquitous, but beyond that, they fought their wars with projectile weapons and chemical explosives. Perhaps, offered first speaker Koth of the Proxima Alliance, his azure skin darkening with thought, we're missing something fundamental about their psychology. Our latest analysis suggests their shield technology isn't just defensive, it's selective. They choose what to interact with, down to the subatomic level. New data streams filled the chamber. Footage from observation drones showed human ships passing through asteroid fields, their shields not so much deflecting rocks as simply deciding that the rocks existed in a different phase of reality altogether. That's the real problem, Jareth continued. They've developed technology that allows them to simply opt out of physical laws they find inconvenient. And worse, they're expanding. The galactic map materialized, showing humanity's steady colonization efforts. Mars, Europa, Titan, methodical, careful expansion throughout their solar system. No faster-than-light travel, no quantum tunneling, just steady, determined progress using technologies that seemed deliberately primitive compared to their defensive capabilities. We've detected quantum fluctuations suggesting they're experimenting with faster-than-light travel, reported Science Director Veneral, her holographic form flickering with concern. But they're doing it differently than any civilization we've encountered. Instead of bending space or creating wormholes, it's as if they're teaching portions of space-time to selectively ignore the light-speed barrier. The implications sent a shudder through the chamber. A civilization that could convince reality itself to make exceptions was beyond anything their sciences had conceived. There's more, Vena continued, her voice dropping. We've detected similar quantum signatures around their shield technology. They're not blocking or absorbing energy. They're convincing space-time itself that the energy never existed in the first place. The chamber fell silent. The idea that a species could develop technology that didn't just manipulate reality, but could selectively edit it, was terrifying. We need to establish contact before they perfect this technology, Jareth declared. The Arctarian Collective proposes a unified approach. Not with weapons or shows of force, those have proven useless. Instead, we attempt to understand why they've chosen isolation. And how do you propose we do that, Lyra challenged, when they can simply choose to ignore our existence? By watching, learning, and understanding, came a new voice. All eyes turned to Elder Exion of the Zorn consciousness, their first participation in the debate. The ancient being's quantum-entangled form shimmed as they spoke. Humanity's technology tells us something profound about their nature. They haven't built walls. They've developed the ultimate form of consent, the ability to choose what parts of reality they interact with. The chamber buzzed with realization. Humanity hadn't developed their technology out of fear or aggression. They'd created the ultimate expression of free will. Then we must ask ourselves, Elder Exine continued, What it says about us that we're so desperate to force our presence upon a civilization that has chosen solitude. Perhaps the question isn't why they won't talk to us, but why we can't accept their silence. As the council descended into philosophical debate, observation feeds from Earth continued to play. Billions of humans went about their lives, developing their technologies, fighting their wars, solving their problems, all while possessed of the power to simply say no to any external force that tried to impose itself upon them. The galaxy had encountered many powerful civilizations, but never one that had developed the ultimate power, the ability to choose their own path, regardless of what the rest of the universe demanded. And that, perhaps, was what terrified them most of all: whispers of war. The secret meeting on the asteroid mining colony of Vega 9 wasn't technically illegal, but its participants would prefer to avoid official attention. In a private chamber carved from nickel iron ore, representatives from the galaxy's most powerful military forces gathered to discuss the human problem. War Admiral Kress of the Drachnid Empire slammed his scaled fist on the table. Enough debate. Every day we wait, they grow stronger. Our latest intelligence suggests they're expanding their reality editing technology beyond their shields. Surveillance footage played above the table, a human mining operation on Mars. As they watched, a massive drilling accident caused a catastrophic explosion. Instead of containing or deflecting the blast, the human safety systems simply convinced local space-time that the explosion had never occurred. The workers walked through the aftermath unscathed, as reality itself rearranged to accommodate their preferred version of events. They're not just choosing what to interact with anymore, Strategic Commander Nira of the Centaurian fleet observed, her crystalline form dimming with concern. They're retroactively editing causality itself, which is precisely why we must act now, Kress insisted. Before they perfect this technology, before they decide that perhaps our civilizations would be more convenient if we simply never existed. The room fell silent. It was the fear none had dared voice, that humanity's technology might evolve from defensive isolation to offensive reality editing. You're all missing something crucial, interrupted a new voice. From the shadows emerged Naira Vale, the notorious information broker. Her holographic disguise flickered, concealing her true species. You're so focused on their technology, you're ignoring their psychology. She gestured, and new data streams appeared. Look at their entertainment media, their literature, their art. Humans are obsessed with stories about resistance against overwhelming odds, about maintaining individuality in the face of forced conformity. What's your point? Kress growled. My point, dear Admiral, is that every attempt to force contact has only reinforced their determination to remain isolated. You're not dealing with a military problem. You're dealing with a species whose core psychological drive is the preservation of choice and free will. The footage shifted to historical records of human conflicts. Look at their history. Every time an outside force has attempted to impose its will on a human population, it has only strengthened their resistance. Their shield technology isn't just a defensive measure. It's the physical manifestation of their fundamental nature. Strategic Commander Nira's crystalline form pulsed with realization. They've developed technology that perfectly matches their psychological need for absolute self-determination. Exactly, Naira continued. And now consider what happens if you attempt to force contact through military means. You won't just be fighting their technology, you'll be opposing the very core of their species' identity. Then what do you propose? Kress demanded. We simply allow them to develop the power to edit reality itself? I propose we consider something radical, Naira replied. What if their isolation isn't about us at all? What if it's simply about their need to develop on their own terms, free from external influence? The room erupted in debate, but a quiet voice cut through the chaos. Dr. Vin Rao, the same scientist who had first identified the quantum nature of human shield technology, spoke from his corner. There's something else you should see. New data appeared, quantum readings from Earth's shield network. We've been interpreting their technology wrong. It's not about editing reality, it's about consensus. Their shields work because every human, consciously or unconsciously, agrees on what they will and won't interact with. It's not technology imposing its will on reality. It's billions of humans collectively choosing their path. That's impossible, Kress scoffed. No species could maintain that level of unconscious consensus. No species we've encountered before, Dr. Rao corrected. But humans, their entire civilization is built on shared stories, shared beliefs, shared choices. Their technology doesn't shape reality. It simply manifests their collective will. The implications stunned the room into silence. They weren't facing a military threat or a technological superior. They were dealing with something far more fundamental. A species that had developed technology to manifest their collective choice for self-determination. So what do we do? Someone finally asked. Naira Vale smiled. Perhaps, for the first time in galactic history, we do nothing. We accept that there exists a civilization that has chosen its own path, and we respect that choice. And if they perfect their reality editing technology, if they decide to expand beyond their solar system, Kress demanded. Then we hope, Dr. Rao replied softly, that a species so fundamentally committed to free will understands the importance of extending that same respect to others. As the meeting dissolved into worried discussions, the latest feeds from Earth played silently above them. Humans continued their lives, unaware or uncaring of the galaxy's concern. Their technology a perfect expression of their most fundamental nature. The power to choose their own destiny. The breaking point? The Valorian flagship Starweaver returned to Earth's solar system, but this time it wasn't alone. Behind Admiral Thara Voss's vessel stretched the combined fleet of every major galactic civilization. Over 10,000 ships, representing the largest assembly of stellar powers in known history. All ships in position, First Officer Zen reported, his tentacles writhing with nervous energy. Though I still question the wisdom of this plan. Voss watched Earth rotating peacefully below. The Council believes we've run out of options. Humanity's reality editing technology has reached a critical point. The quantum fluctuations we've detected suggest they're close to achieving something unprecedented. The holographic displays showed the latest data. Human experiments weren't just editing local spacetime anymore. They were beginning to affect quantum fields across their entire solar system. Reality itself seemed to flex and bend according to their collective will. Begin the transmission, Voss ordered. Across 10,000 ships, a unified message began. Not in radio waves or light signals, but in pure quantum information. The combined technological might of the galaxy's greatest civilizations focused on a single purpose, to make their presence impossible to ignore. For the first time in history, humanity's shields flickered. We're getting through, Zen exclaimed. Their quantum field is responding to... He never finished the sentence. In an instant, every ship in the fleet went dark. Not damaged, not destroyed, simply disconnected from reality itself. Emergency power flickered on, revealing a startling sight through the viewports. The stars had changed. What did they do? Zen whispered. They moved us, Voss realized with awe. Not the ships, they moved the entire sector of space we occupied. We're looking at different stars because we're no longer in the same region of the galaxy. Before anyone could respond, a transmission cut through their communications. Not in any galactic standard format, but in simple radio waves. A human voice, speaking in clear, measured tones. We appreciate your interest, but we are not ready. Please respect our choice. Beyond the veil. The emergency Galactic Council session that followed was like no other in history. Representatives gathered not to debate or argue, but to grapple with a fundamental shift in their understanding of reality. The humans didn't just move our ships, Science Director Veneral explained, her holographic form trembling. They relocated an entire sector of space-time, seamlessly grafting it into a different part of the galaxy. The level of quantum manipulation required, it should be impossible. Yet they did it without harming a single vessel or crew member, Elder Xian of the Zorn consciousness observed. Even in demonstrating their power, they chose to preserve life. The chamber fell silent as new data streamed in. The human solar system had vanished, not destroyed or hidden, but simply relocated to somewhere beyond their ability to detect. In its place, they found a simple quantum beacon broadcasting a message in every known galactic language. We choose solitude not out of fear or hostility, but because we must walk our own path. Our technology is not a weapon or a wall. It is the manifestation of our fundamental nature. We have learned to shape reality not through force, but through consensus. When humanity is ready to join the galactic community, it will be because every human mind has freely chosen to do so. We leave you with a gift, the understanding that reality itself is more mutable than you imagined. Your civilizations can achieve what we have, but it must come from within, from the collective choice of your own peoples. Until then, we wish you peace among the stars. The message repeated endlessly, a reminder of both humanity's power and their choice. So that's it? War Admiral Crest demanded. We simply accept that a civilization with the power to rewrite reality can exist somewhere out there, doing who knows what? No, Elder Exion replied softly. We accept something far more profound. We accept that true power lies not in the ability to impose one's will upon the universe, but in the wisdom to choose one's own path while respecting the paths of others. And what of humanity? Will they return? Someone asked. They will return, Exion said with certainty, when every human mind freely chooses to do so. And perhaps by then, we will have evolved enough to understand why they waited. In the years that followed, the galaxy changed. Civilizations began exploring the principles behind human technology. Not their methods of quantum manipulation, but their approach to collective consciousness and shared reality. They learned that the power to shape the universe came not from force or technological might, but from the united will of sentient beings choosing their destiny together. And somewhere out there, humanity continued on their own path, their technology a reflection not of their desire to hide, but of their commitment to authentic self-determination. They had given the galaxy its greatest lesson, that the most powerful force in the universe is not the ability to impose change, but the wisdom to choose one's own way forward. The stars continued their eternal dance, and if some of them seemed to flicker now and then, as if adjusting to accommodate the choices of conscious beings, well, perhaps that was just the universe learning to respect the power of choice. The end.